Hello everyone. Pragmatic has developed a module for a construction business. So here I'm introducing its functionality by giving a training on the construction module. So first of all, I will take you to the apps which are mandatory to be installed for running the construction app. So under apps, I will just find out what all are the construction module. So here you can see construction includes subcontracting, contracting, project planning and controlling, construction purchase management, and construction purchase report. Besides this, it also has the Gantt chart view and the tender management, which I'll be covering in the next sessions. So these are basically different modules which needs to be installed for the construction app. After installing the applications, first we need to check the user's permission that has been given for this particular module to the user or not. So make sure your developer mode is on, and when I come here, I'll check that all the settings has been given to the user or not. So these are the contracting module access, PPC module, practic purchase. What all modules we have installed, we need to check whether the rights have been given to the user or not. After making sure that you have given the rights, now we will start with the training. So first of all, I'll go to project. Suppose we have a construction site and my project name is Amanora. I'll create this project here. So under project, you can see that my project has been created. If I want to edit anything under this project, I can edit it from here. Now at every stage there is an approval process that has been defined under this module. So if the project has been created, so you have to change its stage. Right now it's under draft stage. So when you change this stage, that means this project has been approved by your manager or senior authority. This access can be given to anyone. So right now its current stage is draft, and I'll select its new stage that I'm approving this project, and I'm writing okay, approve it, and updating it. So for creating the stages, we need to maintain various stages under stages transaction, which is under the configuration of the project. So when you go to configuration of the project, here are the stage transactions which you need to create every time when you create any project in a new database. So I'll just introduce you that how to create these stages. So suppose we have created this project Amanora, and here you can see the model name is project.project. You need to copy this particular object name from here. You have to go to stage transaction. Right now it has been created for project, otherwise you have to go to create from stage draft to stage approve, and here you need to paste the model name which for every screen which is mentioned here, and click on create button. Right now it's already created, so I'm not going to create it because it will create a duplicacy error otherwise. You have to select from draft stage to approve stage and the model, and then you have to save this. So this way the stages are created. As I have already prepared the data for you guys, so the stages are already being created here. So this way I have created a project Amanora. Now we need to create the different sub project. What happens against any one construction project, there can be so many sub projects that might be suppose I have created Amanora project, so under that there might be a commercial project as well, residential project as well. So for that we have a type of sub project that we can mention it here under one project. So I'm creating here Future Tower Township, which is a residential building which is to be created under Aminora project. So I'm saving this. Right now you can see the stage is in draft. Again, I'll just copy this sub project. I'll go to stage transaction. I'll create a stage from draft to approve for this particular sub project, and I'll come here. I'll go to change stage. I'll change the stage from draft and approve. I'll write okay, I'm approving this particular sub project and updating it. So now you can see the stage has been changed to approved. Okay, so this way we create sub project. Now we have certain WBS tasks that needs to be mentioned against each sub project. Like suppose for Future Tower Township, I have phase 1, phase 2 and phase 3. There are 3 different buildings under which the apartments are will be constructed. So for that I have project WBS. WBS stands for work breakdown structure. That means sub project is again divided into further projects, so which needs to be maintained from project WBS. So I need to maintain that. So for that I need to first create the task. So what are tasks? Now I'll just tell you that for any construction site there are various tasks that needs to be performed, like site labeling is already mentioned. I'll create a pour foundation. That means for every construction we need to do a site fencing, site labeling, pour foundation. So this way the tasks are defined for any construction site. So these are general task library which can be utilized against any project, sub project and WBS. So that I'm maintaining for only one quantity. Like for just for building one wall, how many quantities will be required. So I'm creating this by entering the material. So I'm taking cement. For 10 quantities cement will be required, and iron, suppose 5 quantities of iron will be required. I can even give the rates here. For 10 quantities I'm quoting 200 price, and for 5 quantity I'm again quoting 200. This way I have entered material which will be required for the pour foundation for minimum quantity 1, and also labor will be required for this particular work. So labor is always measured in days, and suppose 2 labor will be required to complete this quantity, and for 2 labor I have quoted 500 rupees. So this way I create a task library. So this is a general task which can be utilized for any project, any sub project and any WBS. Okay, so this way I have created a task library which is under configuration. When I go to WBS, I'll create a name as phase 1 Aminora WBS. I'm selecting I'm creating this WBS under Aminora project and under Future Tower Township sub project. Now I'll have to select the WBS task from here. So for that I need to create a WBS group as well. So WBS group 1. Now I have to select that which task library I want to create for this particular WBS against this particular project. So firstly I'll add, and I can select whether I want to do site labeling or I want to do core foundation. So suppose I'm doing site labeling right now. So I have selected the task library. Now I will have to hit this button to create the WBS task. So I'm clicking on this button. So right now you can see the task has been created and the line which was there on the line item has been disappeared. I'll just close this and I'll save this WBS. So you can see the task information has been come here, like the material which we have created for the particular task, cement, iron, 5 and 10 quantities, and now you can see the estimated labor and material are coming here with the WBS group 1. Okay, there is one task that has been fetched. So this way the project WBS gets created. Okay, so after the WBS has been created for any particular project, our whole process starts. So what we do is, then we go for execution. Project has been created, sub-project has been created, WBS has been created. Now any user then execute the project. So how we execute? So we have different options under execution, where we have create material requisition, create material consumption, create labor requisition, and then view material requisition, view material consumption, and view labor requisition. So first of all, under the task we have selected the material and labor. For that we need to raise a request that this much material will be required for this construction project. So for that purpose we need to create a requisition. So we will execute this action from here. So I'll create a material requisition. I'll select my project, my sub-project, my WBS, and today's date is 26 March. So from date to date we need to check, yeah, it should be applicable till the date we have selected for this project. I'll click here, search. So it will automatically search all the tasks which has been created against this project, sub-project and WBS. So you can see the cement and iron which we have selected against site labeling for this particular WBS with the quantity has been come up here. I'll select this and I'll create a requisition from here. After hitting this create button, it will create a purchase requisition that for this much quantity against this particular material the request has been created. Now I'll go to view material requisition. Under Amanora project I can see there are 2 requests which are pending to be approved. So it needs to be approved before moving further. So when I go inside, I'll have to change its stage to approve. So right now you can see the requisition stage has not been maintained. So I'll just show you that how it's created. So this is the purchase.requisition model name. You can see from here. I'll just copy this. I'll go to stage transaction. I'll hit the button create. From draft to approve, I'm pasting that name. So right now you can see that when I click on the change stage button and new stage, I cannot see the approve button, and do not create the stage from here, otherwise it will give an error, because the master it has to be created through master. So we need to maintain the stage under master. So I'm just selecting this purchase requisition, I'm saving this. Now right now, as there was nothing to be appear, now after refreshing it, when I will see the stage has been created from the stage transaction, it will automatically show us the stage. So now I'll approve this, update this. When I go back to material requisition, I can see that only one is left, one is already approved. When I go inside, I'll hit on the change stage button, I'll approve this as well. So these are the material requisition which has already been approved. So now there are no requisition which is pending for approval. So when I remove the stage of draft, I can see that yeah, there are two stages that are in approved status. So now for execution of the material requisition and view material requisition, I'll have to create a purchase order against this material. Yeah, purchase requisition has been made, and now I'll create the purchase order. So I can go to draft order, a draft PO also, and I can go to purchase order directly also. I'm going to drafting this PO, then I'll create the purchase order. So I need to select the vendor. So I'm selecting ready-made. I need to select the project, sub-project and the WBS every time. Then I'll hit on add requisition button. I'll just check the dates from and to. I'll hit on the search button. So as I have already created the requisition for these particular material against the project, sub-project and WBS, that's why when I click on the search button, it automatically fetch the details. Okay, this is the requisition that has been created against this project. So do you want to go with this requisition only, or you want to add something more? So right now I can see I will select this. Yeah, I want to go with this requisition only. I'll have to select the quantity here. I've selected the quantity. I'm hitting add requisition. So this is my purchase order, which is in draft stage right now. I'm saving this. I'm changing its stage. Right now the stage will not be there, so I'll just copy the model name. From here I'll go to stage transaction, create, draft, approve, and writing the purchase order, save. I'll also create a stage for purchase order line, which also needs to get approved. So this is done. So now again I'll go back and select it. I'll have to write OK. That means the purchase order has been confirmed. Now you need to perform the same steps which you purchased for creating a purchase order. So here I'm confirming the shipment. Now I'll have to receive the products. So under operation, as we can see, the initial demand is 10 and 5, but it's not in the done state. So I need to go and I need to receive the quantities from here. Again, for iron cement also I need to receive. Confirm. Now I will click on validate. So you can see the purchase order is in done status. Now I'll come here. The shipment has been done. Now I'll have to create a bill against this particular purchase order. That yeah, I have purchased 5 quantities of cement and 10 quantities of iron against this particular project, sub-project and WBS. Now this is the bill. Again, I'll have to create account stage for the account.invoice. I'll select draft, approve, account invoice. I'll again create the account invoice line. Okay, so when I go back, I'll approve this. Now I'll compute the data. I will save this. I'll compute the data here. So when I click on compute data, after validating it, I can see the information of the bill here with the quantity of iron and cement against this particular purchase order, and I can see that right now it's in the draft stage. After validating it, it is showing me the paid status of this purchase order. So that means the bill has been generated against this particular purchase order against the cement and iron, as you can see here. And the stock interim account has been hitted for receiving of purchase of iron and cement. As we have done for the purchase of raw materials, now we need to similarly create the order for labor. So as we have created a purchase order for material, similarly we will create the contract order for the labors. So for that, as we have created a task library, in that we have mentioned the labor quantity and which labor we are selecting for this particular construction work. So we will have to create the labor requisition against that particular project. So I'm creating a labor requisition against this project. I'll select this, so it will automatically fetch this information. I'll select and create this. Now I'll go to view labor requisition. It is just same as we did for material requisition. I'll select the stage. I'll hit on update button. Now I have to go to contracting. I'll check that the my contractor name has been created under this contractor master. Then I'll go to labor, and as we create purchase order for material, we have to create work order for labor. So when I go under work order, I'll hit the button create. So under contractor, I'm selecting the contractor name, selecting the project, sub project and WBS. Again, I'll hit on add requisition button. I'll search for the requisition for the labor. So I'm selecting this. It has already picked the quantity as 2 as we did for the material. We'll click on add requisition button. So you can also provide the rate here. It's 500 I am providing. So I'm saving this work order. Oops. When I go to this particular line item, when I go to this order line items, I have a payment schedule here. So I need to release the amount to 100%. If I won't release, system won't allow me to calculate or to move further for the labor requisition, because for creating work order, payment has to be released first and then the order will be created. So I've created the order. I'm saving this and I'm changing its stage from draft to approve. Okay, so the work order has been created. Now for material, we have created a purchase order and we have raised the invoice, and the invoice has been created and paid, right? Similarly, this is the work order which has been created against the labor requisition. And now for the work order, we need to create a RA bill just to make sure whether the payment has been received, has been made to labor or not. So for that, we need to just confirm whether the task on which our labor was occupied has been completed or not. So first, under execution, we need to go to task completion, and we need to make sure that the task is completed. Then only we will make a payment to our laborers. If the task is not completed, then we cannot uh, make a payment to the labor. So under task completion, I'll have to create a work completion against the project, sub-project, and WBS and work order. So I'll search here, so I can find out that I have two labors, those who are occupied against this particular work order. So here I need to create a task completion. I'll edit this, I'll add a line and the date, that on this date at this particular time my task will be completed, and the quantity is right now 2, so I'm entering 2 here. So here the completion quantity is 2, so percentage is 100%. Any remark that if you want to give here, so I have given completed. I'm saving this. I'm going back to project again. Now after, as I'll go to view task completion, so I can see the task has been completed, but I have not changed the stage. It's under the draft stage right now, so I'll have to go to change stage and approve this. Then only I can find this as 100% completed. Then I'll go back to contracting, labor. I'll create a bill against this. So I'll just select the project here, sub-project, WBS, work order, and I'll click on compute data. So it will fetch the data that this was the quantity, this was the labor who has worked for this particular task. So I'll save this and change its stage, that yes, the work has been completed, and I'm creating the bill here. So this was the bill that has been created under the RA bill for that particular labor against the project, sub-project, and WBS. For individual WBS, you can have different labor, different material depending on the task library. So this was all about project, contracting, purchase order, and execution. From creating a project till we receive our material at our warehouse, and the labor and the payment against the labor has been shown under this training to you, that how you can do that. Now we have one more option under execution. Suppose we have received cement and iron at our warehouse. This I have shown you in a very limited quantity, but suppose for example I have received 10 ton of cement at our warehouse, and my warehouse is quite far away from the construction site. So I cannot take the whole 10 tons of cement at my construction site. It can be due to the weather condition, or it can be due to theft. I cannot take the whole material on my construction site, because there are some certainties which may happen. So what I do is I take out of 10 tons, I'll only take suppose 1 ton, which is required for my constructions, which is required only for 1 week of my construction project. So for that I have an option of create material consumption. From this option, I'll have to select the project, sub-project, and the WBS name. And suppose I have, as I already mentioned, I have 10 tons of quantity for cement. So I can just take 1 ton quantity of that particular raw material to my construction site from my warehouse. So for that purpose, we have this option of creating material consumption. So I'll search this. So as you can see, for cement I have 5 quantities, and for iron I have 10 quantities. So in the another window, I'll just show you the on hand quantity of this particular raw material. So under products, I'll select the cement and iron. So right now you can see the cement quantity on hand is 15 and iron it's 30. So from here, and I also need to check when I go to this particular raw material, I'll check the product moves. So from here I can find out that from in which warehouse the quantity has been received. So I can see that WH stock is the warehouse where the quantity is received for cement. And if I check for iron, I'll click here, I'll go and I'll again click to product moves. Here also the warehouse is WH stock where the quantity has been received. So now out of 30 and 15 quantities, I'm just creating a consumption order, and here I need to check the location of this particular raw material. Right now the location is partner location and vendor, so where the quantity is not there, so I'll just select here, I'll change the location here, search more, and I'll select this WH stock because this was the warehouse which had the quantity of this particular raw material, right? So I have selected this and I'm hitting on create. So again I'll have to go to view material consumption. When I go here, I need to create the stages for this, for basically approving this consumption order. So I'll go to stage transaction, I'll check that from stage to draft to approve stage. This is purchase consumption and purchase consumption line. I'm saving this. So when I go here and hitting the change stage button, I have updated its quantity. That means the consumption order has been created. So when I go back here, I'll refresh this. I'll go to cement. You can see from 15 quantities it has been increased to 20 quantities. That means 5 more quantities has been increased. And this way this functionality actually works. So this was all about the construction from creating a project till consumption till the end. This is how this module works.